Okay, we're live.
Hey guys.
Hello, hello. Welcome to another Journey to 30. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well. Doing pretty
That's
well.
pretty good.
Yeah, just finished up my 3 games of Doom bots. For those of you that don't know, it's this new game mode where the bots are super evil and really difficult. But, all in all, it wasn't that bad. I've played harder games. So, happy to have finished those and won all 3 of those. So that makes me happy.
Nice. Yeah, I want to give that a shot.
But yeah, other than that, pretty good. Productive day, worked, came home and cleaned up a little bit and did some stuff like that. But anyway, gonna
Nice.
just jump. Sorry about the mild sabbatical, guys. I had some family issues that I had to tend to. I ended up having to just go straight to Utah about it. But, we're back and we're getting ready to jump into what we're talking about today is creep score.
Creep score.
Farming, yep. But, of course, we're going to talk about last week in objectives. Kind of briefly covered objectives and how to secure them. And, yeah, so we talked about buffs, we talked about tower strike and baron inhibitors, and which one to go, which one to take, how to do it, just kind of general, advice. And, our biggest key advice for whenever you're going to take an objective is always going to be wards.
Wards. We
Wards.
we may have mentioned that once or twice. Wards.
Yeah, so, and that's important. Warding is definitely quintessential in the game, especially for taking objectives. So, focus on that and making sure that you ward as often as you can and whenever you can. So, but we're just let's go ahead and look at the champ rotation while we're talking about last week.
It's I'm not see this isn't a great one for new players. There's some champs I like there, but they are a lot of skill shots, some complicated champions in there, I think.
Yeah, so it looks like we got Aatrox, Cho'Gath, Ezreal, Kassadin, Kha'Zix, Rengar, Syndra, Varus, Zillion, and Zyra. Yeah, it's not too good, but it's not that bad. No, they're okay.
Yeah, I
Cho'Gath
guess.
and Ezreal.
Yeah, that's true.
Cho'Gath,
Cho'Gath's
Cho'Gath, Ezreal, Rengar, Varus, and Zillion are all pretty easy and straightforward.
yeah, I like Varus a lot actually. He's got some pretty great poke. He's actually not too hard to use. The only thing with him is he is not a mobile champion, so if you get caught, you're gonna die.
Yeah, so definitely check out some of those champions. I think we can all agree. We agree that Cho'Gath, Ezreal, and Varus we recommend highly to you guys. They're pretty easy, straightforward champs. So yeah, go ahead and check them out and give them a shot. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about creep score. First and foremost, we got to talk about what creep score is and why it's important.
Creep score is the score for creeps, and that means that's basically your farming. That's your minions. That counts for jungle creeps, and the reason that's important. Oh, and that's how many you've last hit. So, like we mentioned before, to get the gold, you need to inflict the killing shot. And the reason that's important is because that's how you get gold, and the reason gold's important is that's how you buy items, and items will give you an advantage over your opponent. So, creep score, as far as things we've talked about, creep score is super important.
Yeah, it's the most effective way to acquire gold and the most effective way of getting ahead of your opponent. So a little bit of math so that you guys can be aware. It takes about 13 to 15 creeps, common creeps, like wave creeps. This doesn't include jungle creeps that are worth like 8 gold to a very small amount of gold. We're talking about like bigger creeps. It takes about 12 to 15 creeps to equal a kill. A kill being 300 gold. This doesn't include shutdown gold or first blood or anything like that. It's just a flat 300. So when you think about and you're looking at kills and you're looking at gold when you press the tab button to see, how am I faring gold-wise against my opponent? Gold, you're going to want to look at if they got first blood, because that's an extra 100 gold, or if they got a shutdown, because that's going to be a decent amount of gold as well. But general consensus and agreement among the ranks is that 12 to 15, depending on minions, casters, or canyon, is going to be about 12 to 15 equates to a kill. So you may not think that that's a lot, and it really isn't that much. So when you get that 40 CS gold lead, that's noticeable. You have a significant lead, at least a couple kills over your teammates. So you guys need to be aware of the fact that it's not only about kills, and this is why we're talking about creep score today, is that creeps and getting minion kills are incredibly important, especially when you're matched up against somebody that is like equal or maybe even better than you are. So
yeah, and that's the thing with newer players. It feels better to kill somebody than it does to kill a minion. So quite often that's where the focus is. You just want to throw all your damage on your opponent. But like you said, even if you get the kill, you still are going to be benefiting yourself more by focusing on creep score. That's it's something you need to learn early and you need to work on getting good at.
Yeah, so definitely focus on learning how to creep score. It's something I tell my friends all the time when they're beginning out. They're like, hey, what should I focus on? What should I learn to get better? Last hitting and getting creep score and practicing your CSing. That is by far the best way to get better. And just for a time frame, I try and aim to getting about 85 to 95, sometimes 100 by 10 minutes. That's my primary goal for CS, because the early game is one of the most important parts of the game. It sets the pace for the rest of the game. It shows how strong of a player you are. And laning phases is one of the easiest phases for you to fully grasp and get your hand on, because it's just straight up. It's kind of a grind. So when you do really well in that grind, it's just going to set you up better for the late game. So 85 to 100, that's like really, really good. I aim for that because I feel like I'm a good enough player that I can aim for that. But you guys want to strive to get in about 50 to 60. That should be your goal before 10 minutes, 50 to 60. That's not to say every 10 minutes you should have about 50 to 60 CS. That should go up significantly, because for the first 2 minutes you can't actually CS. 2.5 minutes you can't CS. So by 20 minutes you want to look for about, I aim for 20 minutes, about 220 is my goal for 20 minutes, and that's being really, 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 lenient with creep score. But you guys should be looking for about 150 by 20 minutes.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to talk about how to get better at last hitting and CSing, because it's something that's important in every single role where you are. Not so much in the jungle, because you're automatically going to be killing him, but in the other lanes, top, mid,
or support.
Yeah, or support. But it can be important for support, depending on who you're playing. Like if you're playing a support that uses Runic Bulwark, for example, that can be a little bit... but we'll talk about it. That's a little different. So top, mid, and AD carry, last hitting is going to be your primary focus for the first few minutes of the game. So let's talk about the difference between an auto attack from a melee and an auto attack from a ranged person.
Yeah, the thing is, the auto attacks... Every champion has got a different auto attack animation, and in particular between the melee and ranged champions. And ranged champions obviously are easier to hit because you don't have to move as much. You can kind of stay back behind the wave, and depending on the range of your ranged attack, you'll be able to hit those minions. But melee, you've got to get right up in their face. Mm-hmm. So that's something you need to. That's kind of a thing you will pick up by playing your chosen champion. And it's something you need to know, because you've got to time your last hits when you're going to just one hit, you're going to take out that creep. But because the animations are all different, you can't just rely on getting good with one champion and then thinking, oh, this is going to apply to everyone. Like you might get good at last hitting, even amongst like all melee champions. You might get good at last hitting with one champion, and then you move to another melee champ and you're missing everything. It's because there are subtle differences between those animations. Mm-hmm. And yeah, actually, you go ahead.
No, yeah, that's exactly right. Like, you're gonna notice that when you're, and by the way, you want to get on League real quick because we're gonna show them how.
Oh, right.
So if it just learning how to last hit is really important. The You need to understand that it's last hitting you want to hit at the very last second, and that may be difficult, especially starting out. But you want to secure the gold, so you're looking to hit them just as they're about to die. And that's easier with range than it is in melee. But you also need to understand that the only way you're going to be able to last hit is if you don't just auto attack. And by what we mean by auto attack is just letting your champion attack and not doing anything to stop them. That will significantly lower your chances of securing a creep. And it will also do this awful thing called pushing the wave, and you don't want to do that in the early game.
Yep.
So, depending on who you're playing, you're going to notice that there's damage differences between what you're playing. So for an AD carry, where you're running attack damage, runes and possibly masteries if you're above, or masteries or possibly runes if you're above level 20, you're going to notice that your attacks are significantly easier to land, and it's easier to last hit. While for a mage or even a support, it's going to be a little bit difficult with that auto attack to secure that kill. So when we get into the game, we're going to talk about when you should use your abilities to last hit and when you should use your auto attacks or your just basic attacks to last hit. And for an AD carry and most top laners, you're going to be generally using your auto attacks as your primary mode of last hitting, while you're going to be using your abilities to last hit sometimes as the mage. And there's pros and cons of doing each of those. So. And we'll definitely cover that. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start this game up. You're not gonna be able to see it until we get in, but I'm gonna pick a character. I'm gonna pick Annie because she's definitely one of my favorites, and she kind of suffers when it comes to securing CS. So I'm gonna run her because it's easier for me, and I'm not gonna run any special masteries or runes because that's unfair. So I'm gonna run empty rune page. And I'm gonna run an empty mastery page too, just so you guys can fully see this and how difficult it can be, but a good way to practice. And if you could run someone like an AD carry and show how easy it is for an AD carry to last hit, that would be good.
I would love to. And I will run runes and masteries that I would typically take with an AD carry, just so you can see how easy it is to make those last hits.
Mm-hmm. So, and reasons why you want to be running masteries and runes according to your character is that it will be easier for you to farm. So Annie, she's a mage, and she should be played as a mage. For her to be played as a mage, you need to be running, AP and magic damage. Now, it's not to say that you can't, have some fun and try running damage, but it's easier for you to play a character if you play them according to their skill set. So, you're playing Varus as an AD carry rather than playing him as a mage type of deal.
Yeah, and there are some champions that you can kind of play with both, like Kog'Maw, for example. He's often used as, or he's most used as an AD carry, but he also can be built AP, so there's a bit of room to play. But for the majority of champions, there's a specific way they're most efficiently played. And that's something you'll pick up as you're playing, as you get to know different champions. And you always want to base, like you said, your runes and your masteries to play up to their strengths the most, as opposed to, unless you're just messing around, you don't kind of want to do something too crazy, like you said, playing AD or AP Varus. Although actually, that can work sometimes. Let's say AP Caitlyn. That's probably a bad idea.
Yeah. AP Varus actually can work. He's secondary as a mage. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. I didn't have the game capture up correctly, so we're going to go ahead and toss that in there, and you should be able to see it perfectly. There it is. All right, so, and disregard that in the bottom. It's showing my chat ban. Okay, so, which I don't play enough games, and recently they threw out so many chat bans, it's not even funny. Alright, so we're going to go to the mid lane because it's one of the best places to go. So I'm starting out with a Doran's Ring. pretty much standard for any AP carry, AP mage. So I'm running 15, a whopping 15 AP, which gives my disintegrate, my Q, a bonus 12 damage. And you're going to see immediately mana cost and half the cooldown are refunded if disintegrate kills the target. So for a champion like Annie with an awesome ability like this, I am going to be using disintegrate to last hit almost every single thing I can, because that is the most optimal way to do it. It's going to be super easy for me to last hit, and you'll see when we actually get into this. You know, I'm going to dance in the middle because, you know, dancing.
Because why not?
But anyway, so easy way to check out your stats to see how hard you're gonna hit. You're gonna press C. You can easily see what your attack damage is, and if you have penetration, you know, like armor penetration, it's gonna pop up right there. Where is it? I just saw it. There it is, right there. And that will tell you how much armor you're gonna penetrate, and it's pretty straightforward, you know. Like, it'll say percentage and then how much armor you're going to actually pierce. Blah, blah, blah. So we're going to get right into this. So you're going to notice when minions get low, the first minions that are always going to get low is the first one that comes. And that guy right there, he's super low. I'm going to wait for him to get low, and I'm going to use disintegrate to last hit. Bam! Disintegrate. Get that bonus gold, 19. See, 19 gold. This guy's going to be up nice and easily for my disintegrate again. Easy last hit. Just easy gold for me. But watch how difficult it can be for me to last hit this melee minion without using... Oh, I want to get this CS over there. Without using disintegrate. And this is when you need to choose whether or not you need to use abilities instead, because you want to keep even... Oh, I missed it because I was auto-attacking something else.
I missed one too. It's okay.
And notice how I'm clicking. I'm not letting myself auto-attack. Oh, I missed that one.
That's the thing. That's important too, because like, if you continually auto-attack, it makes it so much harder to time those last hits.
Yeah.
Plus, like we mentioned, you're going to push your wave, which is a bad idea, which we'll get into.
So look, I'm going to miss that minion. I'm probably going to miss this minion too. Yep, miss that minion because I've been auto-attacking. I'm going to auto-attack that one. I'm going to miss that minion too. See how many minions I'm missing just because I'm auto-attacking? You want to walk around. You want to continuously click. Keep your fingers active and ready so that when the time comes for you to last hit a minion, you can. Just like that. You have it ready every single time. You're ready to last hit these minions and get going. And even, you know, throw down some poke!
You son of a... The other benefit to always moving, too, is it makes you harder to hit. So that's always a good thing. Haha!
I dodged it. So this is something you want to continuously work on. I will show you what orb walking is for a second. It's a very, very interesting concept, usually used by AD carries to allow yourself to do more damage. Now, it's called canceling your auto. So you'll notice a full auto. There's everything from me throwing the fireball to the wind up, or you know, like my backhand. Throw it and then she recovers. She throws in, she recovers. She throws in, she recovers. But canceling the auto attack is something as like throwing, moving after you throw, moving after you throw, moving after you throw. And this is something that professionals do to allow themselves to attack faster. It's a really straightforward, simple thing. It allows me to get more autos down on, say, the enemy as I'm like trying to go and work my way around him. I can just continuously harass him, even though he should be doing more damage than me, just by allowing myself to cancel my auto and recover immediately. And it gives you a few micros, like milliseconds. It's almost negligible, but it matters. In the long run, it ends up mattering. Alright, so I'm going to push the wave and teach you why you shouldn't push the wave. Because this can get seriously detrimental. One, you'll blow your mana. It can put you in a bad spot. And you'll eventually get to the point where you are going to be pushing into their turret.
Now that might seem like a good thing. You think, I'm getting close to their turret, I'm doing lots of damage, but as you'll notice, it takes you a lot farther from safety. And pretend I'm a jungler, I don't have any mana, but let's say Annie's just attacking the turret, thinking she's all safe and everything, and then here comes Rengar, or someone, not me, out of the jungle. She's so far away from safety
that I'm probably going to go down, simply because no!
And she would have went down a lot faster if I had any mana left.
Yeah, because I was pushing myself too far, and that's when you don't want to use your abilities too exclusive, like on minions like that, because that can get really, really, really bad for you. And it's also really dangerous because you can get ganked like that. You can get like, and that's really bad. You shouldn't let that happen to you. So ICS hasn't been all that great because we've been practicing and showing you, but just know that if you have an ability like Disintegrate on Annie that allows you to get mana back off of like a kill or something like that, you should be abusing that. I can't really think of any off the top of my head. Annie's is the first one that comes to mind. There are also low cooldown costs are really good too. Like Ziggs's bomb is pretty effective.
Yeah. But again, with Ziggs bomb, you want to be careful because it does AoE damage. It's easy to push the wave if you spam it a lot. So that's it's something you got to take into consideration when you're using your abilities to farm. Oh, I missed because I'm bad. I missed because I'm bad.
Yeah, so, and that's kind of, you know, what we really wanted to address with you guys. You're dead.
Yep.
Meet the bear! Oh, shit! I mean, crap!
You can't touch me. I'm too fast for you.
Aw. Yeah! So don't ever do that. Don't ever go back for a kill.
And actually, it's interesting you say that. If you're really low on health, I know we said that CS is super important, and it is, but don't extend yourself just to get that one last creep and put yourself in danger, because that creep, that CS, or the gold you get from that is no longer worth it if your opponent kills you when you go to get it.
Yeah, so definitely. So guys, we want to talk about how you focus on getting your CS up. Learning how to CS is really, really important. So continue to practice that. Do it all as much as you can. Let's go ahead and talk about zoning real quick, and let's just go to the bottom. Okay, another thing. Farming in the jungle to increase your CS is something that we have written down. For mid laners, that's something like taking your wraiths real quick. And you can easily do that with any AP champion that has good clear. Like, I'm not going to take that much damage from these guys because they're pretty weak. And I just got 4 CS for that, around 60 to 70 gold right there. So, and that's a significant amount. Like, that's a lot. That's almost a third of a kill.
Ain't nothing to sneeze at.
So right now, I have a large wave pushing in the bot lane, and this is going to be easily cleared out by the turret. So it's probably going to, you know, juggle back out pretty straightforward here. And we're going to talk about how to zone somebody. In the bot lane, this is definitely more noticeable than in other lanes, but it's something as easy as just getting harassed down and not letting your teammate or your enemy farm by keeping up pressure. He sees that I have stun. He doesn't want to go into attack because he doesn't want to get hurt by me. He sees that I'm strong, and he has to use his abilities and his mana to do anything. And right now he can't. He's not even close enough to get experience, let alone last hit anything or to get gold. Now he can still use his abilities, and that's definitely a way to continue up your gold, but that's just going to keep blowing his mana. Look at that. He's already at less than half mana while I'm sitting here, and this is what we call zoning.
And I'm losing all that experience. I'm losing all that gold. So he's effectively giving himself an even bigger advantage by keeping me away from the creeps.
Yeah, but don't forget, you guys always got a CS. And remember, when you're zoning, to not... now he can start zoning me because he has the health advantage. So now I'm at a detrimental position. Oh, dodged it. But I'm going to kill him.
No! See, there's that slow, immobile Varus I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Takes him forever to run away.
Yeah! Alright, so at that point, that was... So he's zoning right there. It made me get the higher level than... Oh, I guess I wasn't a higher level. But anyway, that was zoning, and that's how you wreck with Annie, because she's the best champion in North America. She's the best champion in the world. And I'm going to take this turret. There's nothing he can do about it. And look at that. Dragon timers and everything.
My turret, no! Oh, dragon timers. Look at that.
Alright, so, we have anything else to talk about? I mean, we could study trading, but that's pretty difficult to cover.
Yeah, Basically, if it's a choice between CS and zoning, like focus on your CS until you're getting good with it. It's a good, really good way to focus on that or to get better is to start up a custom game, go in against one opponent, just like me and Asderition are doing now, except you're going to be playing against a bot, and just focus on getting as much CS as you can. Just keep working on that until you know your champion's auto attack animation, you know how much damage they do, and get really comfortable with it. And make a game about it, see how much you can get, see if you can not miss a single CS, and then once you actually are in a match, you're going to be so much better than if you're just trying to get better at playing in game.
Let's give them some people we think is really easy to CS with. I'm definitely going to say Annie is really easy to learn to CS with. She has a lot of leniency with her Disintegrate, which allows you to just keep up on mana, allows you to get your stun up, so she's really easy. But who else?
Caitlyn is definitely easy just because she's got so much range. You can play pretty safe.
Yeah. I also really like Nasus.
Yep, Nasus is good. Kassadin with his W. You can CS pretty easily with him.
Oh, see right there, I was zone. You can even zone minions out of a way so that you can easily secure a turret, and that's what I did just there. And if Varus comes to try and fight me, I'm gonna kill him. Oh, the flash!
You missed.
Now I'm getting really greedy, and this is bad.
Come back here. I'm not done with you. I said I'm not done with you.
If he chases, he dies. Tibbers wasn't attacking. That was lame.
That's a lazy bear.
Lazy bear. Alright, well, that's CSing, guys. 72 CS, that's pretty bad, but, I do have 3 kills to make up for it. Yeah, you don't want to be at 72 CS. You want to be significantly higher than that. But if that is it, I'm just going to go ahead and exit out of that. And get this up. Oh, I had the client. Already is a thing. Alright, so that is, that's CSing for you guys.
I think we did it.
Oh, look at that. A guy posted saying that he thinks this series is awesome. Tell him we appreciate him and we love his support. And continue to watch us. We love it. Yeah, so I think that's it for us. So next week... Oh, we haven't even really gone over what we're going to talk about next week, have we?
Oh, man, now we're on the spot.
Well, free it out. I mean, we could continue with we could talk. We'll talk about trading. How about we talk about trading?
That's a good idea.
So we're going to talk about trading next week, and real quick, definition of trading is exactly what Snaggle and I were doing back and forth to each other. It's when you lay down damage for each other, either by popping a spell, getting some autos down, or just a simple rotation of your spells. That is trading, when you're dealing damage to the other person and they're dealing damage back to you. And how to come out on trading, how to trade effectively, when to trade, when not to trade, those sorts of things. So stay tuned next week. We're going to probably be back on our normal schedule unless something changes. And so Mondays and Wednesdays. And yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Remember, you can always follow us on Twitter, at Asderition.
And at Doc_chicken.
Yeah, so we post stuff about when we're going live and all that different good stuff. And feel free to always email us at battlearena@trinityforcepodcast.com. Please feel free to go over to www.trinityforcepodcast.com. And as always, these will always be up on the YouTube channel. And that's just youtube.com/tforcepodcast. So thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it. Until next time.
Bye-bye.